of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, everybody. Welcome inside a Wednesday episode of Running Point. Right in the middle of the week, Anthony Hartwig alongside Ty Bartel. As always, we are brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet in Austin Town. And Ty, we got a big show today. A lot of guests and guests off the bump as we have three guests on the show today. They're going to be from 12 to 12:45, and we're going to start with Chelsea Williams out of Jackson Milton as they get ready for a tournament game tonight against McDonald. Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks for having me.
Before we get into this tournament game with McDonald, which I'm sure we're going to talk about, I want to talk about this season as a whole and just a reflection on it. You obviously being featured on the basketball team, being featured in other sports before this, but now you're kind of winding down the entirety of senior season now. What's this senior experience been like for you? Coming from basketball to softball, and what's been this senior softball experience been like for you?
I mean, honestly, it's been pretty awesome. Like, I've always looked up to seniors like years prior, and I just, I've always been excited for it and just, dreamed of it, honestly. And it's like I'm winding down, and it's a little nostalgic. It's a little bittersweet. This softball season, especially because it's the last sport. Like basketball, I was sad, but I still had softball to be my last sport. And now that it's winding down, it's just kind of makes me sad. And I love softball so much. So it's just like, it's really bittersweet. But I mean, it's like you're coming to that point where like you're done with sports, but I still love it.
And so you're playing basketball. There are 6 players on this roster in basketball, and you guys have to be like, there's no choice but to be a tight knit team. How much did that help you to make a really good chemistry team with a softball team which fortunately has more than 6 players on the roster, so more personalities to gel with? But I'm sure you learned a lot in the basketball season about how to gel with people because you were forced to. So how much has the experience during basketball season helped you and the other players that are coming from basketball to softball really build team chemistry on this team?
Well, as you said, only 6. So as a leader, I really had to step up more because, I mean, there's only 6 girls. It's hard to keep everybody disciplined because you can stray away from that because of how loose practices can be because we only had 6. So the same thing with softball. It's just really discipline, and having that leadership, it's helped flow into softball. And like we've never really had problems. There's a really good team chemistry. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, we've been dancing all over Facebook and stuff like that. So we just like having that stay loose mentality and just trying to enjoy the sport has really helped.
Will Cotton Eye Joe ever sound or feel the same again now after this season?
No, every time I hear Cotton Eye Joe, I'm going to probably be thinking of softball season, and it's a sweet moment to have.
Where did that all start? Where did this dancing come into play? I think we talked with McKaylee a little bit earlier about it, but like, let's talk about this. Where did this dancing kind of start? And it's kind of a rallying point for you guys now before each game.
Yeah. It started when we had a Mineral Ridge game. It was originally supposed to be senior night, but we changed it to against Waterloo because it was supposed to rain, so we weren't sure, and we didn't have any decorations out and stuff. So was supposed to be senior night, so we're pretty rowdy, and we just always have the speaker out and play music. And so it started pouring down rain after we warmed up. And so Mineral Ridge was out warming up and started pouring down rain. So they ran inside into their dugout and we just started playing music. And Cotton Eye Joe came on and everybody, and I mean everybody, was doing it. Even Mineral Ridge was doing it with us. So it was just like a moment of like, let's just make the most of the moment and make the most of the rain because it's frustrating. And so we just started doing the Cotton Eye Joe.
How much has all that kind of exposed you to the team's personality and let this team personality really shine out? And obviously you share everything on social media too, so everyone gets to see this team's personality.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I want to look back and just be like, I really enjoyed like playing softball, and not only on the field, but just as a team. Like you want to look back and be like, wow, I had a lot of fun. And I think we radiate that energy to other teams, even because I mean, like I said, Middle Ridge was dancing with us, and it's like that's the kind of thing you want a team to have, is to just radiate that positive energy, that stay loose mentality that just helps us have fun in the end.
You look at these numbers at the plate for this season, Chelsea. You're batting above 400. You have a couple of home runs. You have plenty of RBI. And this was a team last year that Coach Ciccolelli was honest and said they struggled hitting. And now they're not really struggling hitting anymore. What do you think clicked for you and this team at the plate?
What clicked is really like we're always talking. We're always talking in the dugout. We're always talking in the field. Like what's the umpire strike zone? What is the pitcher struggling to pitch? Who's pitching the rise ball? Is everybody swinging at it? Do we have to be in the front of the box, the back of the box? I think it's really just us talking as a team has helped us come up to the plate prepared for the pitcher, for the umpire, for the game. Like we are always tying. So if someone strikes out, we're saying, oh, watch that outside corner. Like it just helps everybody be up at the plate ready mentally, and the physical part is easy.
How do you kind of balance those frustrations of this season with all the rainouts that you've had to experience? We know it's hit this team a little bit harder than it's hit some others.
It's honestly, it was really frustrating. Before we had that doubleheader with Matthews, I was just asking Coach Ciccolelli and stuff like that. I was just like, is there any way we can get a game? Like, I'll play anybody at this point. We could play a flipping baseball team for all I care. I just wanted to be out on the field because we had struggled last year with a little bit of rain, and I just didn't want the season to repeat again because being a senior, it's the end. Everything's over after that. So I just wanted a game in. But once we started playing, I started looking up and just being like, you know what, I just have to enjoy every game at this point. If I strike out, if I make a bad play, if I get out stealing a base, like I just got to bounce back from it because I don't know how many games I have left, and I just need to enjoy it.
You pour your everything into sports. I mean, you play in basketball, and like we said before, 6 players, so you were probably exhausted at the end of the season. You go right to softball.
Very.
Where does this love for athletics kind of come from? Where does the work ethic come from? And where does this drive to keep competing when things are like you have to be exhausted come from?
I would say probably I'm the third child. I have 2 siblings that have always been involved in sports, and I've always been a gym rat. So I've been a team manager for like the volleyball team for my sister. So it's just like, I've always had that love for sports. My parents played sports. They're both alumni from Jackson Mountain. So I just have always had that interest and love for any sport. Even I'll watch football. I'll watch even lacrosse. I don't even know lacrosse. I'll play softball. I'll play anything. It's just, honestly, it just comes from the heart. That's all I can really say because I've always loved it, and I've always had that desire to just do my best no matter what.
I mean, you wear the Jackson Milton colors with so much pride. You mentioned the family ties to it, so I can imagine that it's a little bit more meaningful for you going onto the field wearing that. Talk about the pride you feel in wearing those colors for Jackson Milton, but in also doing that, just talk about overall this experience with these teams that you've gotten to have over the years and how much that has meant to you, and some advice you would offer to younger players that are going to be coming up into Jackson Milton.
I would definitely say, like, just being able to have the ability to even put on a uniform and go out and play any sport is just something someone should really cherish. And looking back on all these years, like, you don't even remember the bad things that really happened. Like, you might remember a missed shot or something in the moment, but in the end, it's just like you got to just enjoy what happens and just go with the flow at this point, because you really want to look back and just say, I gave it my all, I did my best, and I had fun doing it. And just like coming from this small school, you really make that bond because everybody's trying to help everybody out at this point. And like going back to the 6 players thing, everyone was just there because of the love of basketball. And I feel like at a small school, you really get that. And just everyone just wants to have fun. Everyone just loves the sport that they're playing. And it's just kind of like a sweet moment to have coming from a small school, especially.
What are the future plans for Chelsea Williams?
Future plans, I'm going to Ohio State for biology. I want to be a veterinarian, hopefully. Definitely going to be playing some intramural sports, maybe try out for the club softball team even. I know I'm going to be doing some sports down there for sure.
I got to tell you, I think you have a coaching mind. Is coaching ever in your future goals when you think about what you can do down the future? I think you'd make a good coach.
Definitely want to be a coach. I've always said that. I mean, my mom coached me my freshman year of basketball. She coached my middle school years of basketball, and just seeing that and still being able to be a part of the game even as I get older would just be amazing, because I want to be able to have that space where a kid can come and play basketball, play softball, play volleyball, and just be able to let loose and not have anything to stress about. So I would love to be a part of that and helping the future generations love the sport.
We talked about
it's time. Oh, Ty, you got a question?
No. Yeah. Just one more, because we talk about the sport and we talk about while you're still playing. I mentioned it, and I want to give you the opportunity. Let's look ahead to this McDonald matchup real quick. Talk about your excitement for it. I know it's a conference matchup. It's a Scarlet here. It's round 3. What's the mentality going into McDonald round 3?
Oh, I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys know the famous line, but it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, and especially when you're playing a Jackson Milton team. Let me tell you, I am excited. We played them in one day in a doubleheader, and it's just, we're ready now. We've gelled together as a team. Our hitting has improved. Our defense is strong. I'm ready. I'm excited. It'll be a good game.
We are so excited. It'll be on ysnlive.com. You can get that and all the other tournament games that are on network for $9.99. I'll put that plug in there for all those Jackson Milton fans that are listening right now. But it is time for your rapid fire questions to learn a little bit about Chelsea Williams off the field. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready, I guess.
I think we'll start off with, do you play any musical instruments? And if you don't, which one do you wish you could play?
I actually started learning to play the guitar during quarantine, so I do play the guitar.
All right. What is the first song you learned to play on the guitar?
Horse with No Name, I think. It's a really simple one.
All right, Chelsea, do you have any pets?
I have 3 dogs, and I have about 16 chickens. So.
You had to pick one of those pets, one of those 19 pets. Ooh. And if one of them could talk, what would they say about you?
They would say I talk in a high-pitched voice to them. I treat them like babies, and I feed them snacks when my parents don't know.
All right, you have a lot of siblings. Which one gets on your nerves the most?
Definitely my sister, because we share a room.
What's the one thing your sister can do to this really, like that one push your button type of thing?
Steal my clothes without telling me.
What is your favorite workout routine?
Definitely leg press. I really like leg press.
If you could live anywhere in the world besides where you live, where would you want to live?
Spain with my friend Carla.
Yes. What's your favorite vacation spot?
I haven't been there, but I definitely want to go to Hawaii. But I've been to California. I like California.
What's your childhood fears? Give me some childhood fears that you had.
Scared of the dark. for sure. Oh, I'm afraid of wasps and bees for sure.
Right there
Those are
with
the
you. I
two
have,
main ones.
and it's still, I have irrational fear of bees and wasps. And I remember one day there was one right on the monitor, and I was like, oh, Ty, I might leave you. What is your favorite subject in school?
Probably cooking.
That's awesome. What's the funnest thing to cook?
Dessert. Brownies are like my favorite dessert, so probably dessert.
What was the last thing you cooked?
Last thing we cooked, I think I made an avocado egg sandwich.
Can the cooking class bring desserts to YSN at the next game?
Maybe. If not, I'll bring a brownie or something.
Good. We like bribery at YSN. What is one foreign
Okay.
language that you wish you could speak?
Spanish.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Hopefully out in like Tennessee or something, having some horses, maybe being a veterinarian, and definitely having some dogs.
We know that you have a lot of talent on the basketball court, on the softball field. What is your hidden talent?
Oh God, my hidden talent. What? Carla's right here trying to tell me something.
Got some help.
I don't even know if I have a hidden talent. Honestly, I'm a pretty open book. I tell people everything.
What is one mythical creature that you wish existed?
Unicorn.
I mean, that's a popular answer. We get that a lot. If you were taking a long vacation, would you rather fly or drive?
Oh, fly.
What player on the team can cheer you up no matter what the situation is?
Carla.
Who's the
Or
best
Emily
dancer?
Foltz.
Who's the best dancer on the team? We'll leave with that one since you guys dance so much.
Me or Emily.
All right, Chelsea, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system, the people that are always there for you.
I just want to thank definitely my family, my mom, my dad, my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, Carla. She's been to so many games and she always videotapes my at-bats, even if I get hit by a pitch. My coaches, they always help me with everything and just really cheer me up. Definitely the players, just anyone involved with sports with me, I'm just thankful for because they're what makes it the best.
All right, Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck tonight and the rest of the season. I hope it goes long, and we'll talk again real soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Chelsea Williams of Jackson Milton joining us live, and there's no rest for the weary because we go right from her to Emily Knight from Newton Falls. Emily, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
Emily, let's first and foremost just talk about the experience this season that you've had. I mean, we know rain's kind of been an adversity for some teams too. How has that been played into this season for you?
Definitely in the beginning, it was pretty rough, like every game getting canceled. So it was kind of a slow start, but recently with the weather being nice, we've kind of kicked it off pretty well. And especially leading into tournaments, I think we're at a pretty good point now with playing like consistently and getting a lot of games in.
This team feels like it's so under the radar. You know, you're coming into the tournaments. I think you have 4 losses on the season. Have you kind of felt like there's a chip on this program's shoulder to prove themselves, especially in the league that you play in?
I think for sure. I think with like rankings coming out recently, I think we're a lot lower ranks lower from other teams than we kind of expected. But I wouldn't say that's a bad thing. It's just we can go out and prove ourselves and show what the team we are.
How do you use that as a chip on your shoulder going forward, knowing now that the next loss puts you out of the tournament?
I think it just makes us, like, we've been working hard all season. We know what we're supposed to do, and even in the regular season, we know what we have to do. We work hard, and it's nothing new for us. So
got to take you back to the game where you beat Champion. I mean, how did that kind of feel? Everyone has been chasing champion for so long in this MVAC, and you guys knocked them off 5-0. I mean, that had to be like the high moment of the season.
Oh my gosh, it was. It was for sure. I think that was our first win against champions since 2013, I want to say. So it definitely felt good. It was the first win against champion that I've obviously ever experienced. And to win 5-0, it just felt great.
Who would you say is the goofiest teammate on the team? The one that can just make you smile at any given time?
I would say my friend Olivia. She plays left field for us.
Now that we're kind of getting into it, and Olivia is the goofy one. Describe the personality of this team and what it's like being on it, and some of the personalities that shine through during the season.
It's definitely a great team to be on. Everybody on our team gets along so well, and especially like most of us have played other sports like basketball or volleyball together. So we just have great personalities. We all bond together, and it just makes it easier to play with everybody, knowing that they have your back and you have theirs. It makes it a lot easier.
What's this community support like throughout the season? Because it seems like no matter what, there's always a strong following for Newton Falls athletics, anything.
Yes, it is so nice. Every game we have all these cars parked in the outfield. Like everybody, my whole family is there every game. It just makes it so nice, and seeing them, especially when we beat champion, just having so many people. And with it being senior night, there was a huge crowd there, and it was just a perfect game.
You got some love in the comments section from Carla Blankenfort that says, "You queen."
Oh.
When you look at, you reflect on your career, and not just with the softball team, but at Newton Falls and going into the school system, what are some of the biggest ways that you've grown and improved from freshman year to now?
In some ways I've grown and improved. I definitely, my mindset in the game, I think I'm a lot less nervous or anxious on the field now that I'm a senior. Definitely, got better with that. And just going out and playing and just not thinking so much about it has really helped me.
What's some advice you would offer to some underclassmen or some players coming up into the program about playing for Newton Falls and representing the Tigers?
I would tell them that it flies by, and really, like, it flies by to take every moment in and don't take advantage of any opportunity, and play every game like it's your last.
That's the advice that you give. Who are some underclassmen that you have kind of taken under your wing and mentored a little bit, and you're taking pride in their success as they go forward in their journey?
I would say definitely a sophomore on our team, Chloe Butler. We both play shortstop. I'm playing second now. She's playing short, but my freshman and sophomore year I did. And so definitely like teaching her some different techniques that I learned throughout the years from other upperclassmen. And I just feel that we kind of play the same. So we get along pretty good.
Taking it back to your freshman year, what were some players or what was some impactful things that some of those seniors said to you or told you that made you the leader you are?
Definitely, one of my friends, she texted me after we lost in our tournament game freshman year. She told me what I just said, kind of like it flies by. Like, and I first, like when I was in my freshman year, I was like, oh, I'm sure she's just like joking, but it really does. And just play every game like it's your last. I think that's pretty much some advice that I think is really helpful.
You're a multiple sport athlete at Newton Falls. Talk to me about what it was like to transition mentally from one sport to the next.
I played volleyball, so I think a lot of people weren't expecting us in volleyball to be as successful as we were. So I think we've had the same mindset. The mindset being that in every game we just need to play hard and we need to prove ourselves to some people. So I think it's definitely the same with softball too.
Going into softball, was it a different feeling for you now knowing that this is going to be the last sports season that you're going to be able to participate in at Newton Falls?
Yes, for sure. Especially with softball. I've been playing softball for like 13 years, I want to say. So it's definitely going to be rough when the time comes. But I think, yeah, I've been playing all my life, and it's going to be weird when I finally have to say goodbye.
All right, it is time for the rapid fire portion of your interview, and we're going to try to get to know you a little bit off the field and off the court when it's volleyball season, of course. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
All right.
I don't know.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs, for sure.
What is the weirdest thing that your pet does?
I don't know. She eats everything and anything.
Morning or night? Are you a morning person or a late bird?
Definitely a late bird.
So I'm going to say sunrise or sunset, and I think I know the answer to that one.
All the way.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
What is your guilty pleasure dessert?
Ooh, I don't know. Definitely, I would say cheesecake.
What is the one thing that you spend a lot of money on that you probably shouldn't?
Makeup, for sure.
What was your last impulse buy?
I spent a lot of money on these shoes. That's my last impulse buy.
Okay, if you could pick one, would you rather achieve your dream job or win the lottery?
Win the lottery.
All right, so I'll go with this. If you win the lottery, you'll obviously be able to afford any kind of car. What car would you want to buy?
Ooh. Probably Mercedes. The best, newest kind.
A night out or a night in?
Night in.
What was the last Netflix series that you binge watched?
Ooh. I would say, I'm trying to think. Probably The Vampire Diaries.
What fictional death hit you the hardest?
Fictional death. I'm trying to think. Probably Elena dying in The Vampire Diaries.
All right. What is going to be your major next year at Ohio?
Nursing.
What is the career that you want to get into after you finish your nursing degree?
I want to be a nurse anesthetist. My dad is too. So seeing him do his job, it just made me so much more inspired to be a nurse.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Oof. Probably like in the movies.
Yeah, or comics or whatever.
Okay.
Cartoons.
I'll just say Captain America.
Who is your real life hero?
My mom.
Are you someone that learns more by watching or by listening?
Watching, for sure.
What's the best restaurant for an after game meal?
Ooh, I would say B-dubs.
All right, if we were going to take you to karaoke night, what would be your go-to karaoke song?
Levitating by Dua Lipa.
What would your walk-up song be if you had one?
Ooh, that's a tough one. In the Club by 50 Cent.
Oh, this is a good one that I haven't asked before. What is one thing that's not a big deal or to most people, but you find irritating?
When people chew with their mouth open.
Ooh, that's a pet peeve for sure.
Yes.
What are the most likely 3 words someone would use to describe you?
Outgoing, funny, and hardworking.
All right. Before we let you go, I'll give you one more. Are you good at public speaking?
Depends. If it's a big group of people, I would say no. But if it's a decent sized amount of people, I would say yes.
All right, Emily, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system, the people that are always there for you and the people that you probably wouldn't be where you are in your journey without.
I would like to thank my family, specifically my mom, my dad, my grandparents. They've come to every single game of mine these last 13 years. And I would like to thank my dog for always being there as well. And yeah, it's just both my siblings are in sports too, so they juggle a lot and they still make time for everybody. So I would really like to thank them for all they do for me and what they've taught me throughout the years, especially with sports. And yeah.
Emily, thank you so much for joining us today on the show. We appreciate the time. We look forward to continuing your coverage of your softball season. We hope it goes as long as it possibly can.
Me too.
We will talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. Emily Knight of Newton Falls softball joining us live on Running Point, and that's a great interview. And want to iterate that it was not Carla Blankenfort in the comment section. It was Chelsea who was using Carla's Facebook profile.
They doubled down on it.
They were doubling down. It's Chelsea, guys. So want to make sure everybody knows that was Chelsea Williams giving some love to Emily Knight during that interview, which is I didn't even know that they were tight. So having them back to back just kind of worked out that way.
Yeah, it worked out nicely too. As still got Caden Burt from Salem Baseball that's due up on today's show for an interview as well. But I mean, it's no doubt great start to the show as we have to waste little time as it's another Salem hard hat winner.
Here we go
for the Quakers. It's Caden Burt.
Caden, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you for having me.
I mean, let's talk about this entire team that you guys have put together this season and this run you guys have been on. It's been really done with the presence on the mound. What was the uptick in pitching, and what's this experience been like for you this season?
This year's pretty good so far. We knew we had coming in off of last year. We had a lot to live up to and a lot to look forward to. And I knew a lot of us knew we had spots to fill as well. That me being one of them, having to fill a pitching spot. So just working on that and coming through, and it's starting to pay off right now.
We know that this baseball season for you guys has been a roller coaster, some ups and downs and some adversity to be faced. What has it taught you about trying to get through adversity and trying to deal with it, anything, whether during baseball season or during life?
It kind of just teaches you to just keep pushing through, and stuff's going to happen. You just got to keep going. We have had a couple losses that just taught us to keep fighting through, and the wins will come through.
I want to talk about one game in particular that you had against Girard a couple of weeks ago. You have 2 home runs in it. You pitch a 1-hitter. What was working on the mound for you? And I mean, it's continuing to work. You had another complete game performance. What's been working for you on the mound? What have you been seeing in your pitches that have really been working?
Just been placing fastballs where you need to put them. A lot of swing and miss. A lot of relying on the defense as well. We have a good defense behind me, so I just rely on putting balls in the zone and then them hitting them, and we're getting them and eating them up.
Do you think success on the mound helps you bring success in the batter's box and confidence as well?
For sure, 100%. You feel more confident throwing when you have a offense going to attack when you get up there as well.
What's it like being able to help out your own cause? After high school, a lot of pitchers in baseball don't get to do that anymore. So what's it like to be able to just go up to the plate and know that what I do here can directly affect how I pitch on the mound?
It's pretty sweet. I never really been more of a hitter. I've always not been the greatest at hitting. And I started focusing on that a little bit in the off season, and I guess it's starting to pay off a little bit.
When you look at this season and how it started, would you say that you guys had a chip on your shoulder and felt like you needed to start proving some people wrong and their initial thoughts about you?
Yeah, 100%. Especially after coming in with the league game, Can South, everyone is probably expecting us to do good when win through a league, and we lose that first game. Everyone's like looking at us like that, and then we lose 2 to Arlington. They're kind of like what's Salem doing this year? So we obviously have that coming in, trying to show ourselves who we are.
And the success you guys had last year had to bring a lot of outside expectations to this season. How have you dealt with the pressures that success can bring and not letting the outside expectations hurt what you guys are doing as a team, as in a unit?
I think we are kind of just focusing on ourselves and not really listening to anything outside of us, and just staying within and knowing what we have the opportunity to do, and just going out there and playing baseball every day.
How influential do you think Coach Debar has been on your athletic career and your baseball career?
Pretty influential. He's one of the more fun coaches to be around. He's more chill than some of the other ones, and I think leads to more of a, it's like a better environment to be around. It's not like it's not really stressful. You're kind of like excited to come to baseball and you have fun.
What's one thing about Coach Debar that maybe not a lot of people outside the program they don't know that you think they should?
He's kind of a little bit of a video guy. He's pretty sweet with the camera.
He knows how to get those clean cuts and everything. He knows how to get them all worked up. Let's talk about too this team overall, as we know, and Coach Debar has said too. You guys are legendary for giving each other a little bit of jest during practices, and you're legendary for chirping out of the dugouts too. What's some of the funniest things between the teammates that you guys have said to each other? But not obviously safe for work. Let's go safe for work things said between teammates on this team.
One of the funniest things this year so far is that picture that someone brought up in the other interviews you had, the bar from Myrtle. That was pretty funny. The picture from where his like stomach was like out.
Right.
I know, we know exactly which one.
The Quaker hat has become a social media phenomenon, and a lot of you guys have wore it. A lot of you guys have won it. Talk to me about what kind of pride it's kind of brought into this team to wear it, and what it means to you when you win it.
I think it just gives everyone on the team something to work for, like during the game, in the game. Try to be like, you compete against the other team, but you're also competing against your teammates to have the best game that game, and it kind of leads to everyone playing their best.
Now that tournament is rapidly approaching, we know the seedings of everything. What's the mentality of Caden Burt going into the tournament?
Going in, probably gonna see first postseason start, because I didn't really start any games postseason last year. Just gonna go play. Really, that's what I'm thinking.
First postseason starts have to bring up some nerves and some of those stomach butterflies. Yeah. What are some of your routines to stay away from the nerves and try to deal with the butterflies in the stomach?
I think just like doing the normal stuff and just going through it as I do usually, and it'll just come. You're obviously going to have those nerves. You just have to fight through them as you're playing.
What's some of the biggest things that you have learned coming into this Salem baseball team that you would share with younger players as a bit of advice?
It's just to have fun. Don't put too much stress on it, and to like turn the page on bad things that happen to you, like in the game, making errors. Turn the page, it's over with, and just look forward to the next ball or something like that.
Obviously, you're a student athlete at Salem, and let's talk about the student aspect a little bit. What are some of your favorite subjects that you've been able to have throughout your high school career, and who are some teachers in the Salem school system that have impacted your journey?
I'm going to be honest, not really that big of a school guy, but one of the teachers that made a big impact was Mrs. McCracken, and she's since passed, but she was one of the only teachers who I felt like made actual impact on all the students in her class. And then another subject that I had here was Debar's class. So with broadcast, you learn a little bit about sort of graphic design and like video editing and that kind of stuff.
Knowing Debar and being an impactful teacher as well as just being a coach as well, talk to me about one of the most impactful things that Coach Debar has said to you that you kind of take with you game to game or maybe day to day in life.
Definitely just turning the page on things, good or bad. You got to look forward to the next thing that happens, because it's not worth like looking back on bad things.
Salem student sections at any sport are nuts. Talk about what it's like to be a part of the student body and what it's like to feel the support when you're on the field, but also be a part of the support when you're supporting other sports athletics.
It's sweet. Being in it for the football games is a great environment, and then it's a completely different one when you're on the field and you have all the students come to a baseball game. That it like boosts everything. Like you play so much better, and it's sweet.
I believe you guys got another big game coming up tonight. Let's talk about the excitement for this one, as I think it's usually dubbed the game when it comes around.
I mean, it's a big game. It's a big game for us because we have to bounce back from last night. Obviously, last night wasn't too great, but we're going there to show them what we kind of like left out yesterday.
All right. Who are some of the role models that you have in your life that have helped you along the way?
Obviously, my parents, always being there for everything sports and everything related to that. And then and baseball, Lane Rhodes, of course. Just his, not even like he's more of like a lead by example guy. Like last year was awesome watching him go through his senior year like that.
Looking at this season too, and looking at the tournament that's coming up, and you talked about these starts that you're going to be getting. When you have these starts that are going to be coming up, and you know that you have these first starts coming up, talk to me about like that experience of having this season compared to like the years before when you had the COVID year and all that going before. What kind of adversity you've had to battle through this, and how your outlook on adversity is now.
I mean, you go into there just, even if you have like a bad game, you still are going out there and having fun. You're playing a game. Even like the COVID year, like everyone was like kind of sad they couldn't even play. So even going out there to play a game overall in your senior year is something cool, and do that.
All right, Caden, let's do these rapid fire questions. Get to know you a little bit off the field and have some fun before we end this interview. What is your favorite animal? Like if you could have any animal as a pet, what would you have?
Lizards are pretty cool.
Do you have pets? And if you did, what's the weirdest thing your pet does?
We just have cats, and they don't really do anything but lay around, to be honest.
Cats are weird.
Yeah.
Cats are weird by themselves. When you learn, are you more of a guy that learns by listening, or are you more of a guy that learns by actually being able to do it?
I think listening to it first and then doing it over like reassures it for me.
What is the best magic trick you've ever seen?
Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you the last magic trick I've seen.
Oh, not a magic guy. All right.
No.
What is the last movie that you got to see at the theater?
Maybe Fast and Furious last summer.
What was the last series that you binge watched on Netflix?
I don't even watch anything on Netflix.
Oh man, what's your favorite movie?
Step Brothers is up there. Talladega Nights is up there.
What is one thing that you spend a lot of money on that you probably shouldn't?
Shoes.
What was your last impulse buy?
Probably a pair of shoes.
What is your best vacation spot?
Myrtle Beach is sweet. I also like Tennessee. That Pigeon Forge area, that's nice.
What's the go-to game at family game night?
Uno for sure.
Who wins at Uno?
It's always me.
Always you.
Yeah.
What's the video game? Are you a gamer? And if so, what's the favorite game that you?
I'm not really a gamer, but when I do, I'm more of a MLB The Show kind of guy.
Who is one teammate that can make you smile no matter what the situation is?
Jackson Johnson's a funny guy. So anything he says usually comes out funny, makes everyone laugh.
If you could travel back in time, what era would you want to go to?
Like 90s, late 90s.
If you could have dinner with anyone live or dead, who would you want to have dinner with?
Kanye West.
If I told you were going to be in a viral video, what do you think the video would be? What do you think would make you viral?
Something sports related, baseball related.
What's your walk-up song?
It is Touch the Sky, Kanye West.
What is one song that could get you hyped up no matter what the situation is?
Love Sosa by Chief Keef.
If we were to ask someone to describe you, what do you think they would use to describe you?
Swag.
I love it. What is one childhood fear that you had?
Heights.
What is your pet peeve? So one thing that maybe most people don't think is a big deal, but you think is really irritating.
Unorganization.
What about the best school lunch? What's the best school lunch that Salem has to offer?
I don't even know. I'm a lunch packer.
All right. What's your favorite lunch to pack then?
Probably just a pizza or PB&J.
Nice. Like cold pizza?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's underrated. I think people sleep on cold pizza. What is your favorite meal after a game?
I'm a big fan of Taco Bell or McDonald's.
What's the go-to order at Taco Bell?
Taco Bell, the Doritos Locos Tacos,
Well, let's give McDonald's a shout out too. What's the go-to order on their menu?
the McChicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, before we let you go, we want to give you the chance to thank your support system, the people that are always there for you, and the people that you probably wouldn't be where you are in the journey without.
I just want to give a shout out to all my parents and everyone that supports me on like Instagram and everything, and all of the support throughout the baseball team and all of the coaches and everything.
All right, Caden, thank you so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank
We
you.
wish you the best of luck on the rest of your season, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you.
All right, that was Caden Burt from Salem Baseball. I'm in softball mode because we had two softball players from Salem Baseball joining us today on Running Point. We thank him for his time. We thank all of our guests for their time. We're going to have Scotty on here in about 15 minutes. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk results from last night because there were a lot of really good ones. We have some sectional finals decided tonight. We'll start to decide who gets into districts for softball and baseball. We got some more regular season cleaning up to do this week. The last
We
week.
could talk a little more power rankings too. I know we kind of skimmed over it yesterday.
We'll pop up the baseball power rankings because we kind of
we ran out of time
glazed,
today, to say the least.
We glazed over it, and Mike Thorpe saying great interview, cuz. So the softball coach over there at Salem giving Caden a shout out, and we'll talk about their game last night and what they have to look forward to. And like we said, we have a lot more to get to on Running Point. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break. We'll be back on YSN.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens. On air, online, Wednesday afternoon weather update,
very dangerous,
and on the 21 News social media platforms. 21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
As fine as the eye can see, the finest hardwoods from the finest trees. Made for your home and within your means, Baird Brothers will help fulfill your dreams. Let life and light come shining through in quiet morns. And heavy traffic, too. Find your easy-to-afford fine hardwood floors and doors and more at BairdBrothers.com.
Hi, this is Tommy Clem, owner of WRS Insurance Solutions.
WRS Insurance Solutions is a local independent agency that specializes in life, Medicare, long-term care, and disability products. Call us at 330-953-3722 or visit us at WRSInsuranceSolutions.com to learn more.
Good luck to all the student athletes in the Valley.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
But now you can see every school, to the smallest school, to the intermediate schools, to the schools in the outlying areas. It gives you coverage that you could just never get to before. It's something that's great to experience, and it's opened up a whole new wave of sports viewership. The possibilities are endless here at YSN. Push the envelope every day. Try something new. If it works, great. If it doesn't, well, let's try another angle, and we just keep moving forward. My name is Mike Ackelson, and my sports network is your sports network.
Reliability, innovation, scale. These three values are those we look forward to in our business and in our team. If you're ready for a reliable employer who looks constantly to think outside the box in big ways, we're ready for you. Apply now. Help us push the envelope and deliver success. Envelope 1. Take that one extra step.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun. It all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, no job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Jimmy Sudman here, Director of Isle, Purple Cat, and Golden String. We are happy to support YSN and two of my favorite people, Scotty Mincher and Super Dave O'Malley. We are an agency that provides services for adults with disabilities. We infuse humor, passion, and joy into their lives. If you know of any folks with disabilities that need our assistance, please contact us.
How lucky are we to have not one, but two 18-hole Donald Ross Championship golf courses right here in our backyards. Mill Creek Golf Course was selected by Golf Week as one of America's 30 best municipal courses, continuing to challenge golfers of all levels and featuring PGA professionals, golf instruction, a players rewards club, kids programs, and a pro shop and grill room for a memorable golf experience. Call or click to schedule your tee time at Mill Creek Golf Course.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, we offer a worry-free experience for all our customers. From sales to financing and even service, we'll help build your perfect vehicle
and lock in your trade value
while your vehicle is being built.
No worries.
We guarantee financing,
regardless of your situation or credit history.
No worries. And when your vehicle needs service,
our award-winning team will get you back on the road.
No worries.
That's what going the extra mile means. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Welcome back to Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet. You just heard from them. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do that every day as well. We want to thank the three guests that were able to come on today. Chelsea Williams from Jackson Milton, Emily Knight from Newton Falls, and Caden Burt from Salem Baseball, all being able to join us live on the show. We thank everyone for their time. We know it's a crunch. I mean, I know Emily was doing a final at 1 o'clock, so she came on right before her final. So we thank all the kids and the coaches that come on to our show. Our show wouldn't be anything without the interviews. So it'd just be two Jacomos just talking for 2 hours if we didn't have the interviews. So endlessly thanking everyone for being able to come on our show every time they're able to come on. Can't do it without them.
Yeah.
Ty, we have two more Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley winners. Hallie McCullough from Springfield won on the softball side.
Just
And
we already had an interview with.
We had her on. If you want to see her player profile, head over to ysnlive.com. And then Stevie Rowan won for the baseball side from South Range. So we have South Range, we have Springfield, the two oldest rivals in the books, and they both win on Baird Brothers Big Dog of the Valley.
Yeah, and I mean, congratulations to both of them too, winning Big Dogs, as we'll be excited to see when the new list of Big Dog candidates drops for YSN.
To stay on brand, let's talk about both their respective games last night. Hallie, part of this big comeback that the Tigers had in the sectional semifinals against Garfield. They were down 5-0 to the G-Men and scored 7 unanswered runs to win 7-5 and advance and earn another home game as they will host Kirtland on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So tomorrow they'll host Kirtland.
On tomorrow.
On tomorrow. They will host Kirtland, and winner goes to the district. So congratulations to Springfield. To be down 5 in a tournament game and just buckle your chin strap and say, let's go, where a season's not ending today. That's impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations to them. Moving on, surviving and advancing, right? That's this time of the year. And it's already started for softball. It's days away for baseball, but it's survive and advance time for the ladies right now. And it's exactly what Springfield did.
And you look at them, they got offensive contributions from almost everybody. Sam McKim got a couple RBIs. Gabby Nalavenko got a couple of RBIs. Maddie Lesnick, Rachel Malatok, they both drove in runs. Holt had 3 hits. Pachuta had 2 hits. McCullough had 2 hits. Just an amazing effort, a team effort to come back from a 5-0 deficit. It wasn't just one player saying my season's not going to end and rips like 3 home runs in 3 at-bats. It was the lineup saying this is not going to be the end of our season. They strung together hits. They had multiple players with RBI. Impressive from the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And when you're able to make comebacks like that, especially in tournament time, it's a lot more special. So Springfield lives to fight another day.
Now you got to watch out for Kirtland. This was a team that came into LeBray last year, and they were the underdog by a mile and took LeBray down in last year's district tournament. So they know how to go on the road and win. So you got to watch out for Kirtland, as that will be the next opponent that Springfield's going to run up against.
And that'll be obviously a very exciting time to see if Kirtland is going to have some more magic in the hat, or if Springfield can thwart those dreams of coming true again.
I know that's a matchup everybody wants to see in football.
Yeah, but
we're
you
going
get a little preview. Yeah, you get a little preview
in softball. To talk about Stevie Rowan's game last night and his team, the South Range Raiders, they battled with Gerard on Monday. No battle at all on Tuesday, as they just smacked the Indians to get the sweep, 11-0. The Raiders take the win. They sweep Gerard. And they keep trucking in that NE8, just one loss in the league, and it was to Hubbard.
Yeah, absolutely. And congratulations to them for coming back and showing what they're made of.
Tyson Teradek had a shining moment on the mound. He got the start. He got the win. And maybe the South Range flexing a little bit of depth on the mound that maybe was a question mark coming into this season. Everyone knew Billy Skripak, and he was going to bring it to the table. I think the question coming in for South Range, who's going to be behind them? Who's going to give you that pitching depth? And they have had guys step in, not just Tyson, but other guys step onto the mound and really show that the Raiders have players behind Skripak on the mound that can really give you problems.
And I don't know if you recall, but when I had that interview with Coach Hannock from the Raiders, he said that he thinks that this might be the deepest pitching rotation that he's had at South Range, and that's counting the 2018 state championship team. So that's impressive to say.
That was a team. You look at the pitchers that this program has had. Jake Gehring, of course, but on that team itself, Brandon Youngs came in as a closer. Just to say that's a big compliment.
Absolutely. And we know pitching is what wins championships, right? That's the old adage, right? And it's how far your pitchers can go and how deep your pitching staff is, and who catches fire at the right time. And South Range certainly has a pretty deep rotation too. It's going to be exciting once tournament starts for the baseball
catching
team.
Fire, and they're doing this, and they get on base for the Hunger Games, saying we're catching fire. Pop culture references on Running Point.
Yeah, we're about like 8 years too late on that
one. Hunger Games is evergreen. Okay, it's always going to be relevant. Because it's a political
yourself that.
I volunteer as tribute. You shut your mouth. We'll go on to some more results real quick. Some really big ones, Ty, and I guess we can't escape the one that you were at. Fitch baseball statement made, right? 5-2. They get the win over Canfield, and they get the commanding lead in the AAC. They have a 2-game lead now. They have a couple of games left. With Boardman, Howland, I believe, is still on their schedule as well. So they still have stuff to shore up. They haven't won the AAC yet. They can't rest on their laurels. But big step forward by sweeping the Cardinals.
Absolutely, and I think it just comes down to they need to win one of these next two games. I believe Fitch does to shore up the conference. Only having the one loss to Howland, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that would put Canfield now at 3 losses in the conference. Boardman has 2, I believe, 2, one to Howland and one to Canfield, and one to Fitch too. So that's 3 losses, I believe. If they lost to Howland, they have at least 2, one to Fitch and one to Canfield.
They did lose to Howland last night. They beat Howland last night. Sorry, Boardman swept Howland.
So Boardman knocked out Howland. So Howland has those 2 losses, plus they lost to Canfield. So really, Boardman has the 2 losses to Fitch and to Canfield. So Fitch, if they beat Boardman, they definitely shore it up. If they lose to Boardman, then Fitch would need to win against Howland to get a share of the that crown. Then
wild.
How that all shook up, right?
Did not see it coming. Didn't see a sweep coming. I was like, okay, they won 11. Canfield had 5 errors. That's not going to happen again. Let's. But no, Fitch is like, it's happening, and we're going to win in 7 innings this time. We're going to do it emphatically by 3 runs. Joe Roth pitched really well. Man, what a performance!
I mean, you score 3 runs in the 6th, add 2 more in the 7th after being down 2-0 for a decent majority of the game. After it was 0-0, I think for the first 3 innings. It was a phenomenal pitching matchup, and you expected it when you saw Landon Beitelgeuse and Joe Roth going to be squaring off on the mound. And Beitelgeuse, I think, had the 12 strikeouts. He had a 12th strikeout performance through those 5 innings pitched. I mean, he was phenomenal. 6 innings pitched, I believe. 6 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts. Ohio State commit. I mean, he does big things every time he's out there. But credit Fitch, it was timely hits, and that's what we said makes a difference late in the season.
Can we talk about Canfield's perspective real quick? Like, Canfield is going to be fine, right? They're going to be just fine. Let's not start freaking out and saying what's wrong with Canfield or Canfield is bad now. They're not going to go into state, or they're not going to be competitive for state or anything like that. Like, Canfield will be fine. These kids are allowed to have a bad game or a couple of bad games. You could argue that Mondays was just like, oh my gosh, both teams were playing really well and it went 11 innings and
Canfield beat the Division II state champions. Right. Fitch is a Division I team. You're technically playing up a division with Canfield in the conference.
I know that there might be some Canfield fans out there hitting the panic button.
No need to.
They're going to be fine. Trust, everything is fine in Canfield. It's like that. Everyone thinks that the fire's going on. That meme with the dog and the dog's just sipping coffee. That's scary. Like this is fine. This is fine, right? Everything's fine. And I'm not using that sarcastically at all. Everything is going to be okay if you're a Canfield Cardinals baseball fan. You just had one bad game, like one really bad game. I shouldn't even say really bad. It wasn't a really bad game.
Yeah, it wasn't.
You just stumbled once against Fitch, and what are you going to do?
Fitch was the survivor in the 11-inning affair. Let's put it frank. They were the survivor in the 11-inning affair. It was who survives once you get into extras then. And Fitch survived. In the next game, though, I mean, I'll risk Fitch in this one. They came back down 2-0, and they hit one of Canfield's best pitchers. And that's no disrespect to Landon Beitelgeuse. He's going to get hit just like Joe Roth got hit, just like everybody's going to get hit. The best of the best do get hit sometimes. And
everybody is hittable.
Absolutely.
You're throwing the ball, you're throwing it to a hitter, and everyone's dangerous when they have a bat in their hand.
But, you take that one performance, don't let it outweigh the fact that Landon Beitelgeuse has thrown a perfect game. He's stunned. He's stunned many lineups. Didn't he pitch against Tobin and shut him out too? Was that him who pitched against Tobin, or was that another one of their studs?
I'd have to dig.
Yeah, but he's one after another sending down some of the best competition in the state, and to say that's even a bad game, he allowed, I think, 3 runs.
How many programs would love that to be a bad game?
Yeah, Canfield's going to be fine. They're number 1 seeded in Division II for a reason. They're going to have a great run, and we expect them here on Running Point, and I think a lot of us expect them in YSN to be talking about them in some regional finals and potentially state semifinals, because we think they're that good of a team. But now talking about this, because they're in different divisions, I think this opens up Fitch for a lot more momentum going into that D1 tournament now.
It's good for Canfield, though. This loss is going to show them who their real supporters are. It's easy to touch the crown when everything's going really, really good, And this Canfield team's like state championship or bust. But now, okay, there's some chips in that armor shown a little bit. Who's going to stick with you, right? Who's going to have your back? Because those are who your real supporters are. There might be some that they get off the bandwagon now and say, "Oh well, okay, Canfield's done."
And I don't.
You get to weed out the posers a little bit.
And I don't want to say like the conference wasn't important to Canfield, because of course it was. They want to win the conference. You want to win whatever you can in regular season. That's always important. But is that really the most important thing on Canfield's mind going into this season after the season they put together and bringing back a majority of those guys from last year? I don't think it is. I think the schedule that they put together proves that. But like I said, I think both of these teams are going to be fine going into the tournament. And I think, honestly, if anything, I think it just more or less is great for both teams because it's going to shore up Canfield's armor, but right before the tournament. And for Fitch, it's going to get them some momentum for a very young team that's going to be pretty impactful too. You have young guys like Mason Petridis who went 8 innings catching fire right before the tournament. That's going to be huge for Fitch. I'm excited to see the run the Falcons can put together.
Let's bring Scotty into this conversation because he's popping in the studio. Scotty, how we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad you didn't have me on. I got all fired up when you were talking about the meme. And I said this is fine.
This is fine.
Yeah,
this is fine.
I couldn't help myself. But, I guess I'm ready to go today. I guess that's a good.
When aren't you ready to go? Like,
did you see the Ben Simmons comment, Ant?
Oh no, I didn't.
He said Marlington is a really good team in D2. They beat Fitch at Fitch this year pretty handedly, but I still think Canfield is the better team. And Marlington is always going to, I think, provide some fits in the baseball realm in D2. I mean, I don't think you can't say that the Dukes in almost every sport are always a tough out.
Marlington baseball lost last night, by the way, Ben. So don't be praising them right after they lost.
Yeah, Ben. Like, go get some back surgery.
Go get some back surgery. Get out of here, Ben. They got upset last night. So the EBC is wild. And you look at the other, EBC matchup that may be a score that Scotty, I'm sure you can agree with. I just saw his hat and it sidetracked me. It just says Medell sucks.
I figure he's dead now, so I can make fun of him.
I think you got that a little backwards, Scotty.
Oh, so you're saying if he was alive, it would be okay.
Oh, okay.
Are we getting this before any of the other outlets here on Running Point? Ben Simmons is out 4 to 6 months with a stubbed toe.
His back healed up, but he went and stubbed his toe. Scotty, we'll bring you into this conversation talking about the results from last night, and we talked about Canfield at length and the Fitch win, and the Fitch win puts them in the driver's seat in the AAC. On the other side, and we were talking the EBC, and how about West Branch baseball, and not just beating Salem, but emphatically bullying their rivals to an 11-0 win on the road. They did that in Salem. Now they have a home game tonight in Beloit. Were you shocked at the score? Were you shocked at the score that we saw from West Branch Salem?
I definitely wasn't expecting 11-0.
Right.
I'll say that.
I know when that score graphic popped up on West Branch's Twitter page, I was like, they lying?
Yeah.
No, it happened, and it's proof that there are ups and downs in baseball, right? And even if you're a team that's scorching hot, there's a team. If you meet up with an immovable object, you can get cooled off real quick.
Especially when it's one of the biggest rivals, I think, in the area too, with Salem West Branch. Like, you put these two combustible elements together, there's nothing that you don't expect happening when these two meet up in any sport.
But now you wonder, how will Salem bounce back tonight? They have to go on the road this time to West Branch. Can they flip the script and do the same thing the Warriors did to them and go get a big road victory? It takes a lot to bounce back from that kind of loss because it's demoralizing. It can be if you let it. Scotty, what do you think about Salem's bounce back capability.
I mean, it is demoralizing, Anthony, but it can be. But I also think baseball, in more than any other sport, I think you have to have that short memory, and I think it's almost like a closer's mentality. You go out, you blow a save, you got to get right back on the horse the next day. So, like this, a loss like this, especially to a rival, it can be pretty gut wrenching. But I also think in baseball, it's easier because it's really game to game, inning to inning, at bat to at bat. I think it'll be easier for Salem to just say, that was a stinker game, then play our best. But I wouldn't put it past them bouncing back. And I think because it's against a rival, I don't think I think they'll be able to flush it quicker because it's another game against your rival opponent. And I think they're going to say, you know what, we took a bit of a beat down, but we're going to forget about it. And I think they're going to come back. I expect this next game to be much more competitive. We'll see. But I expect it to be a close one.
Let's be real. If Salem hung their heads after one loss, too, it would have been let's throw it away after the 1-3 start. Then,
like this team's already proven they can bounce back from some adversity. They've faced them already this season. They've bounced back plenty of times. So, wouldn't expect them to hang their heads after the loss to West Branch. I think they have the perfect mentality of turning the page. Like that's what Caden said. We're always turning the page.
What do you think the mentality is for West Branch's side of things? And because you can't be riding in this game too high after last night's result. Obviously, you enjoy the fact that you beat your rivals like that, but it's very easy for a team to sneak up on you if you're riding into a game way too high.
Right. I mean, like we just beat you guys 11-0. We don't have to work hard for this. We're so much better than you now. But I think West Branch, they're amazingly coached. I think Rick Molinex is a really good coach. He's going to keep them kind of in this mindset that says celebrate last night for about 2 hours and then watch. They have to turn the page just like Salem does. It's got to be new game against a really good team. They're not going to give us 11 runs just because we won 11-0 last night. Like we don't get to start this game up 11-0. It's 0-0 now. We have to do our jobs again and kind of put our foots on the pedal. We can't let the foot off the gas. So I think West Branch is going to come into this game super aggressive because they know they have the momentum and they want to keep it. I think they're going to maybe take some chances on the base pass because they're good at doing that. And I think there are chances for West Branch to just kind of, like I said, keep their foot on that gas pedal and not let Salem get any momentum. Salem's got to get off to a good start. I'm going to say it. First thing in this game, if one team scores in the first, it better be Salem.
That would definitely be huge for just momentum and confidence, right? Just to get into a game like that and just immediately wash away all the thoughts and memories that you have of last night's affair. I mean, like that immediately gets you in the right frame of mind to start that game. It'll be interesting to see because like West Branch can pretty much throw anybody and they will throw anybody too. I mean, Coach Molinix has absolute confidence and faith in all of his guys too, and he's not afraid to put any of them out there. Always looking to develop all those guys, and I mean he's a player's coach first and foremost, and they find success with the way he does things. And
I'm not gonna even give Ben Simmons the light of day with that comment.
I saw it.
It's not inappropriate or anything, but it just has nothing to do with anything. We're not going down that track. So, yeah, I think Salem's going to be fine. And then when you look at it, like I said, Marlington lost in the EBC too. So the EBC was stock full of upsets last night on both sides. We have to talk about the flip side. On the softball realm, Marlington was able to pretty much clinch the EBC outright title without playing because West Branch stumbled a little bit and Minerva lost that game 2-1. And because of that, now no matter what the result is on Friday between West Branch and Marlington, the Dukes have the outright EBC championship.
Yep, and congratulations to them for clinching that too. I mean, Marlington we know, and we always kind of watch them, and we get to experience Marlington athletics from a little bit of afar because we are right there in the EBC with a couple of teams, and we respect them here at YSN. We know they have great athletic programs, and they're always a thorn in the side of YSN teams. So we hope they'll eventually bring the Dukes onto the family.
You know, Marlington, when they played Minerva earlier in the season, Minerva had a big lead on them, and Marlington, like they did last year in the tournament, they came back. You know, they're always a team that's like, you get them down by 8 runs, they're like, I don't care. 8 runs is what we like. We're gonna still beat. I think they won the game like 14-9, but they were down like 9-3. I mean, it was just like they're a team. God love them. They just never quit. You know, and if West Branch takes, how do you kind of mentally go into this game now? Like, you still want to beat Marlington really bad, but really, if you beat them, it doesn't really mean anything as far as the conference goes. But it could give you a lot of momentum. So I wonder how West Branch goes into this game on Friday.
With the comeback ability, we're gonna have to start calling them the Duke Nukums or something like that right now, because they're just shooting nukes out of the batter's box.
From your perspective, when you're expecting to go into a game against a really good team and it's supposed to be a league championship, but something goes wrong before then, how do you kind of go into that mindset and still find a way to take that game with just the amount of energy that you would if it was going to be a conference championship?
I think for me, the way that I would approach it, if going in I thought it was going to be a conference championship game, I'd be pretty jacked already. Like, I have my playlist going and getting fired up, listening to some like Thunderstruck, AC/DC, something to get the adrenaline flowing. And for me, I think it's just, it would be all about, and I think it's easier for someone like me to say this, but for me, it would just be about going out and enjoying every day and every opportunity you get. Because, you know, I've played sports, pick up games, basketball, baseball, football. I've done it with my family, but never had the opportunity as far as organized sports go.
That's why you're going to be my coach.
So for me, almost like in a sense, every game would feel like some sort of, championship or league type, like something was on the line here. I would just, I don't know. To me, I guess what would make it the thing that I would be able to use for motivation and really turn the table, like, I would just think about my past failures or someone that had doubt in me, and that would continue to give me fire, because I know you've had them, Ty. I know for sure you've had them, Anthony. There's always going to be people, someone in your life that really doesn't think you could do what you're able to do, or doesn't think you could be great. And I just, the more I'm around people like DJ and you, Anthony, and you, Ty, I kind of am able to see and witness the great things you guys do. It gives me fuel on days where I'm not feeling it, it kind of gives me that extra push of motivation. So it kind of, I guess, go at it with a Michael Jordan mentality and use everything as a motivator. That's how I would approach the game.
All right, athletes, take notes, because if every athlete in the world had the mentality that Scotty just brought to the table, I think we'd all just be straight up champions. I mean, forget about it. Scotty just went in a deep dive in sports philosophy. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let's go into some more results real quick. Is Seth brought up Hubbard did finish off that game, and they did beat South Range, and now the NE8 is still hanging. It's still hanging by a wire. I mean, South Range still with a 1-game lead with 1 game to play. They have to play Girard Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. No, tonight. They play Girard tonight because they're off tonight. Tournament's not tonight. Their tournament's tomorrow. So they have to play Girard tonight, and if they win, obviously they get the league. But if they don't,
they share.
Here comes Hubbard, right? Hubbard and Poland both with 3 losses.
Oh boy! And Girard, if there's one team that wants to kind of just like throw a wrench at the whole thing and say, what, screw.
And it's not out of the round. I mean, Girard lost 7-4 on Monday, so they gave South Range a battle. It's not like South Range went in there and just knocked the socks off of Girard. And I believe this game's going to be in Girard instead of at South Range, so it's going to be in Girard's home. And stranger things have happened, man.
A home team with nothing to lose. As far as conference implications go, there's nothing you could do as far as tournament implications go. It's a home team with nothing to lose against a South Range team that has everything to lose. As far as the regular season conference is concerned, you go from league title to now you got to share that league title 3 pieces.
Look, South Range has the league championship no matter what, but it's the difference between sharing like they had to do last year, which they didn't like.
No.
And now they have
South Range has more to lose in this matchup, and Girard's just going to go in free swing and free mindset saying, hey, let's shock the world right now.
Can we talk about Hubbard for a second? Like, that's such a cool story. Like, they lost one of their best players. I would say their best player, and Haley Croyle out for the season. Can't pitch in this game. Started the game, held South Range to 1 run through. I mean, this was 1 1/3, so they were in the top of the second inning with 1 out, and that's it. And Phoebe Resnick came in and said, "You're not scoring this whole game." Like, Hubbard had to add 1 more run. They didn't even need it. That's impressive from Hubbard to be able to kind of culminize and fight for their teammates and say, we are a unit. We're not one player, and they are not one player. If you look through their lineup, they have college talent all over, whether it's young talent that hasn't committed yet or a couple of more D1 commits in Grayson Arkham, who will be playing at Cleveland State. So talent throughout the roster, and they kind of came together and said, we're not going to let, the fact that Haley is out for the season stop us from reaching our goals. And they have a chance. They gave themselves a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Hey, credit Hubbard, and you know what? Credit for them rallying around Haley Croyle. And if there's going to be one team that can do it, that's kind of the story that we see too. And I mean, with someone that has as much influence and is just a big impact player like Haley Croyle, I mean, she's had obviously an impact on a lot of those players, and enough to where they're going to say, and I have a feeling they're all saying, we're going to do this and we're going to take this as far as we can for her, because she got us this far. Let's try to do this for her. And I mean, they off to a great start against a great softball team with a victory against South Range.
Lakeview's tournament run is done last night as they got a heartbreaking 9-inning loss to Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. And it was one of those games where there's going to be one survivor, right? 6-5 in DCL got the win in 9. And a very interesting decision. And I'm not going to say it was a bad one, because the pitching kept Lakeview in the game, but the starter was not Reagan Chick and it was not Ella Chadwick. They started Bacon. So interesting decision. And it wasn't a bad one. I'm not going to say it, because she came in, she pitched, she kept her team in the game, which is all you want your pitcher to do. And Lakeview had plenty of chances to win. They out-hit the Lions 10-9. One of those games, man. And it feels like Lakeview in tournament games, they've just had bad luck. They've had really bad luck in the last 2 years. Had Marlington by the what do you want to say? By the throat, right? They had Marlington by the throat. I didn't want to get violent, but they had Marlington by the throat. And
too violent. And Scotty, you're the violence referee. Is that too violent? I mean, we gotta go to Scotty for review.
Like, they're too far.
I think that's a little too far.
Okay, different lingo, Ant. You're gonna have to change that up.
Yeah, man, you just went like that was like some John Wick stuff there. That's intense.
Had him by the whiskers, Ant. That's what you could say. We're going to
they were hanging on by their toenails, right? They were just and then they found a way back and they won that game, and now Lakeview comes up and they lose one in extra 6-5, but doesn't take away from the season they had. They have a win over South Range that is causing all this curmudgeon in the NE8. So we want to congratulate Lakeview on a great season and a great run.
Might need to start bringing Scotty in to be the official for more running points too, to just kind of overwatch and make sure you keep.
I think that hat might be against the protocol too.
Scotty's the only one that's allowed.
Scotty can break all the rules. What's this shirt?
This is a band.
Okay.
Psychedelic rock band Tool. I saw them in concert.
Psychedelics. See, that might not be appropriate either. Scotty, the referee, bringing a metal band shirt and a Medill Sucks hat. He's rebelling against the machine today.
Yeah, I guess I don't know that sunshine. It must have got to me today.
It's making Scotty bold.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what else is bold, Scotty?
What's that?
Your trivia time.
Oh yeah, it is very bold.
Before we get to it, I want to remind everybody that all the recaps and stories from last night can be found at ysnlive.com. If there's a game that you want to hear, that you want to see what happened that we didn't get to, make sure to go over to ysnlive.com and find all the stories and recaps. Our team works hard to get those up, so make sure you go over there and check them out. All right, Scotty, trivia time. I know you brought some good ones. Ty, full disclosure, I helped Scotty out with some questions this week. I gave him some. I pushed some his way. So some of these come right from Anthony. So, Scotty, what's your trivia segment today look like? I'm going to give you, 20 minutes. 20 minutes of trivia. Get as many questions in as you can.
Okay, as many questions as I can in 20 minutes. Here we go. This is one that Super Dave helped me with.
Well, I'm gonna fact check this one.
Yeah. It's what was the one? It was like who hit
a home run in the upper deck of the left field of Yankee Stadium?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Super Dave.
Yeah.
Okay, what's this one?
This one, I think, I don't know. I think I might have something here, but here we go. I want to know from you, Ty, who is the only MLB team to turn 3 triple plays in multiple seasons, and in what seasons did they turn them?
So you're saying this team had multiple seasons with 3 triple plays in the season?
During the season, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna try to Google search this and fact check it. I don't know what to search here. Let's see.
Oh, I hear those wheels spinning.
The wheels are spinning. Anytime Ty is speechless, his mind is going. And I saw some smoke going from his ears a little bit, so you might be overheating his computer brain.
Cannot compute.
He didn't even facially respond to that either. He is just locked in right now. He's straight up.
He's in the zone.
I don't know if his screen's frozen or if he's just focused. I can't tell. Oh, he moved a little bit.
It's like NBA Jam. Oh my!
I'm just trying to remember. Okay, so you want a team that's turned 3 triple plays in a season 3 times?
Multiple times. He didn't say how many times he did it.
In multiple. The answer is I want is there's a team that has turned 3 triple plays in multiple seasons, and I just want to know the team in the years they did it.
Oh, I got it. Yep, it's fact checked. There is a team that has done it in multiple seasons, and it's the only MLB franchise to do it. And Ty, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams that have had 3 triple plays in a season in MLB history.
But this team has
But this is the
done
only
it.
team that's only done it.
This team has done
multiple
it
times.
multiple times, and I want the team in the years again, Ty.
Here we go. Ty, your clock's ticking, bud. Giving Ty forever.
I know. Well, I'm trying to understand the entire. So you want
my gosh.
You want three triple plays in a season.
Okay,
two times.
Ty. There is only one team that has more than one season that they've had 3 triple plays in that year, in that season. So only one MLB franchise. What is it? And then he wants to know what years they pulled off the 3 triple plays.
I think the only team to do it multiple times was the Red Sox in 79 and 24. But I know the 21 Yankees did it last year.
He just nailed you.
No,
you got it.
You think you might have him, and then he's just like
I need to understand the question fully before I answer it, because sometimes I misunderstand the question and say wrong answers too.
You shouldn't explain that to him for a third time.
Okay.
You couldn't give me any clarity on it.
I'm just gonna start.
I wanted to know if you knew it.
Ty, your new name. My new name for you is Dikembe, because you're just always like, no. Every time I think
What was the question? Scotty asked me, like, what am I thinking right now? Or something like that.
What was the first video game I played?
What did I eat for breakfast today?
Frosted Flakes. All right, Scotty, next question.
Get freaked out if I started answering.
So next question, we're moving on to ones that you helped me with, Anthony. So
I'm getting some pride in these ones. I hope they get them.
Here we go. Ty, I want to know from you whose face was used in the design of the now Las Vegas Raiders logo.
Wasn't it Randolph Scott?
He got that. Actor Randolph Scott. Nice.
Yeah. Man.
All right.
Ty not playing today.
I brought some other ones, Scotty.
Yeah, I got another one. And again, thanks for the help, Anthony.
I thought that one was going to be the hardest one, though. So now I'm like, whatever. He's got it.
Now these are layups.
No, I wouldn't say that. But
what company sponsored the Green Bay Packers when they started in 1919 and led to their name?
What? It's something packing company. What packing company was it? It's is it the Indian Packing Company?
I thought he would say Acme because right after 1919 they changed their name to the Acme Packing Company, and
I was thinking that too. I was thinking that. I was like, is this a trick question? And I didn't know what the parameters on it, but I thought it was called the Indian Packing Company.
All right, Scotty. I know I sent you one more.
Yeah, you did. I want to know from you, Ty, what renowned artist designed the Seattle Seahawks logo?
Come on, let me get you once.
I'm trying to think because I feel like I might know this one too.
I told Scotty before that if he got all three, I would eat my hat. So I might have to. That.
So the hat eating's on the line now.
I know.
The Georgia Tech hat that I'm looking at too.
Yeah. It's a tech hat.
Ann has to eat a tech hat if I get this, huh? I want to say I feel like I'm trying to think of the first name. I'm pretty sure the last name's Oliver. Marvin Oliver.
You got it wrong. I left it that.
You are
so close.
So close, but
what was it?
So far, my friend, it is Robert Oliver.
Oh man.
I was sweating.
It was so scared about it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, you got one on me.
I gotta admit, I really enjoy stumping you, Todd, but I would have loved to see Anthony put his.
You got to start telling Anthony. You got to start giving stipulations like that. If you give me these questions and they get wrong, and I have to sacrifice my points, you need to eat your hat or something. you need to start wagering something with Ant.
All right, Ty, Mr. Ty. I have another one for you, and it was one that I was going to send Scotty in this morning and didn't get around to it. But who's the first NFL franchise to use white face masks on their helmets? And why? I want to know why they started using white face masks. I'm going to make it really hard for you because there's a reason that the coach gave. Scotty, how we doing today, man? We'll fill the awkward silence of Ty's thinking with some conversation. You doing good?
I am.
You sipping the tea?
I am. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh man, don't be drinking that Kool-Aid.
It's it's not technically summer yet. I guess it's still spring, but the warm weather, man. I try not to, take the hook. I try not to bite there because in Ohio, you never know day to day, but it gets me thinking. It just, the sunshine gets me happier, but I mean, who knows how long it's gonna be here, if it's gonna consistently stick around. So
Ty's not gonna answer.
So from what I'm recalling, and I had a feeling you would try to do this, it's because I think you're referring to the 1974 whole face mask color changing thing when Chargers were the yellow one, but now you want to talk about the Chiefs who did the white in 1974. Is that what you're referring to, Ant?
The Chiefs were the first team to use a white face mask, but I also want the reasoning behind it.
Well, that was that whole. I know the Chargers started changing theirs to yellow too during that 74 season.
Because Hank Stram was very public about it.
It's funny because it's like the Chargers, I feel like, the more known one for the yellow face mask that Ant's just trying to get me to just talk Chiefs trivia.
Yeah. I threw in a Chiefs trivia question because I had to swallow a Raiders trivia question for you too. So, Ty, it was because he wanted the referees to see the face mask being held, so he changed
that makes sense.
He changed the color to white. I don't know if it helped his cause at all, but that's why he did it. That's what Hank Stram's reasoning was.
I mean, I probably should have just taken a crack at that because that seems like just logical answers. I'm trying to think of like off the wall reasons, and that's a logical answer that makes total sense.
I'll come back at you next week. I'll get you. I'll get you. Ty, before we go, there is one more result I want to get to. We got through. We got caught up with the craziness of Fitch and Canfield and the Hubbard beating South Range and all these conferences that are up for grabs. Strother softball, tough season this year. Definitely tough season. They've battled. They go to Jefferson and they win in extra innings on a walk-off sac fly from Matty Baez to advance in the tournament. Just an incredible gutsy win for this team that has been through so much this year. What a win for them to go on the road and earn a conference. Well, it was a conference win, but it was also a tournament win.
Yeah, and I mean, honest to God, there's like congratulations, and that's the beauty of softball, baseball season, and why you play the tournament games. And I mean, the season, yeah, it matters, but it's not the end all be all when it comes to tournament time, and you could still not let a season define you once that tournament starts. And Strother's already off to a nice start, making it.
They're still kicking. They move on to go to Poland on Thursday, and that'll be a good one. And it'll be their third crack at the Bulldogs and Cats versus Dogs. The battle as old as time, as the Cats versus Dogs debate rages on. We ask a lot of athletes that on our rapid fire questions: cats or dogs. Ty, what about you? Cats or dogs for you? I know you have both.
I do have both. I am definitely more of a dog person than a cat person, but my wife is definitely the more of a cat person. So that's why we've compromised and we have both cats and dogs. So it's a madhouse here.
Scotty's same question.
I would just because no, if you're asking me what I would rather have, I've wanted a dog for a long time, but I guess I would say for now I'm more cat because I used to have a cat when I lived with my parents. So I just know cats a little better. So I would say I'm slightly more cat, but I've always wanted a dog, and this is really no pun intended. I always thought that Scotty dogs looked really cool, so that might have to be my first dog. I mean,
I'm gonna get you a Scotty dog just to stay on brand.
Yeah, it's
you ought to have dogs at your residence.
Scotty's both. He's a big dog and he's a pretty cool cat too. At the same,
yeah. And he works for Purple Cat too.
Yeah.
I do. It's funny how many people, like when you say Purple Cat, they think it's like some sort of like gentleman's club or something.
Well, it is. Duh.
Yeah.
Timmy Sutman thinks that he's running something, but it's really just a gentleman's club.
Yeah.
Scotty's the main member.
The bouncer.
When Purple Cat, I think like you mean the Pink Panther?
I think at the end of the first, I guess, running point year with the new era, we need to have Scotty, if he loses to me in trivia, dress as a purple cat.
He lost already, so you're a Purple Cat. You can't come back.
I want to see you with a nice set of ears, Scotty. Too. You're always rocking a hat. I want to see some purple cat ears.
Plus, I've lost count of the score. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. We don't even give this.
I had it before we renovated the studio, and then
it's gone. So I guess we're back to even now, Scotty. Somehow the deficit you were at is just.
You want to keep that bet, but start at 0 next week.
What's been in the win? It's gone.
Yeah, we could just wipe the slate clean.
The
matter of fact, how about we just go like we wipe Ty's memory of all that's happened over these months. What was that movie with Jim Carrey? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, where you could have your
we picked a
memory of
random one.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Ty,
It's heavy, but it's good.
Let's go over the games on the network tonight. We have 3 baseball games, 1 regular season softball game, and 3 tournament softball games. Reminder that the tournament games can be purchased for $9.99. One payment of $9.99 gets you access to all 3. There's a free softball game as well. We'll start with the baseball games on the network. Crestview traveling to Brookfield. Matt Morrison going to be on the call there. 5 o'clock first pitch for that one. Chardon will be at Canfield, and that's going to be their senior night before the game. So make sure to tune into that. Dom Files will be on the call in Canfield. And then Austintown Fitch will be traveling to Boardman. 5 o'clock first pitch. DJ Oakley will be on the call from Fitch. We have some other games going around the area from baseball. Columbiana will be traveling to Lisbon. Latonia traveling to Wellsville. Salem will go back to West Branch to try to bounce back from their loss last night. Steubenville will be traveling to Edison, and Ursuline makes the trip to Howland. Softball regular season, we have Lakeside and Jefferson. Pat Santar will have the call for that one. And then we have the playoff games, Jackson Milton at McDonald. That one will be for the sectional championship. I'll be on the call. 5 o'clock first pitch from McDonald. Mineral Ridge travels to Brookfield. Ty, you're making the trip to Warrior Country to see the Brookfield Warriors for the first time this season. And the one that I might think is probably the marquee game of the evening, Louisville at Howland. Noah Rick's going to be on the call from Howland Township Park, Lewis Field, as the Tigers host at Louisville.
Yeah, and winner of that one will go on to the 16th to face the winner of Fitch and Roosevelt. So we're going to have an all YSN district semifinal. So that is going to be we have the potential, I should say, to have an all YSN district semifinal. So we're definitely fingers crossed here that we can have some YSN representation in all these divisions.
Other games around the area in tournament time for softball. East Canton will travel to Western Reserve. Badger will be at Warren JFK. Kent Roosevelt making the trip to Austintown Fitch. Southern will be at Lisbon, and Uniontown Lake will be at Boardman. All of those are sectional finals. Winners go on to the district semis.
Should be interesting. Next round will be decided.
Sydney Watts, program record strikeouts in a season, 250 last night on senior night over Howland.
Phenomenal. I mean, untouchable, electric. What else can you say? I mean, there's nothing else.
I've run out of words. Don't know. Whatever.
We're out of compliments. The freshman phenom has already broken a record her first year. She's got 3 more ahead of her. I mean, sky's the limit for her. Sky's the limit.
They're really good pitchers that struggle to get like 350 in their career. And she's in a
She might hit 4 digits. She's shooting for the moon, and she's already grabbed a few stars on the way. Like, I mean, incredible season for Sydney Watts, and I mean, exciting. We're excited to see these D1 tourneys start. We're excited for all of our teams represented in YSN and all 4 of the divisions. We hope we go 4 for 4 in the softball realm as far as bringing home some state hardware back to the area.
That would be awesome. And we have teams that have been close last year. You know, West Branch got to the regional final last year in D2. We saw South Range obviously get all the way to the state championship game last year in D3. And then Brookfield, they lost to Matthews in the district championship, but it was a very close game, and Matthews went all the way to that state championship game and lost. So you could argue that Brookfield, competitive with a team that went all the way to state, they might have the caliber to do it again in Division 4 if they get past Matthews in that district.
Which ones are you more excited for, Division 2 or Division 3 of the districts, the 2 districts we have? Because a lot of teams represented in both of those ones.
I answered this. I think I'm excited because they're going to be good games. I'm sad because our teams are going to have to be knocked out in the district semifinals because West Branch will have to square up with Poland, and they're going to, both those teams deserve to win a district championship, but they're going to have to play each other in the district semifinals. And then Canfield waiting at the bottom end of that bracket. That's going to be a really good one. That is, I believe, the Jefferson bracket in Division 2.
And then D3, I think, we talked about D3. It's champion Crestview's there. Columbiana's there. I mean, there's South Range. There's Ursuline. There's all these teams. One of them has to come out of it, though.
But an interesting score to keep an eye on in that South Range district. Gilmore Academy beat Crestwood last night 8-0. And that was an upset. And Gilmore Academy may be a really underseeded. and you'll have to keep an eye on them, especially in the bottom half of that bracket. So your Columbianas, your Crestviews, better keep an eye on Gilmore Academy.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, once tournament starts, anything could happen. So we're excited for it as we've already kicked off the softball round. Baseball's coming up in just a few days, but we get another round deeper into the softball world tonight.
Scotty, what game are you most looking forward to on tonight's slate of games on the network?
I really, when you looking at it in when I was doing my, just because I don't always, as much as I love checking out the games in the network, sometimes I have to do a recap when I come in because I don't get to check out games for whatever reason. So I read up a lot on the site, and I really going forward for today, and I know it's a Friday game, but I really want to see how Gerard. You're talking baseball or softball?
Either one, bud.
I really like to see Gerard going up against the Wildcats. I believe it's Chalker, and how they perform. So they're a school I have my eye on.
Two teams that have had struggle seasons that are going to go up against each other trying to get momentum in tournaments on Friday. That could be a sneakily good game.
Yeah,
I think so. I think there's potential there. So I'm really looking at that one. This one I'll really be keeping my eye on.
I'm going to be keeping my eye at your game too, though, tonight, Ann. And I mean, we had Chelsea.
You're gonna bring my game up while you're doing yours.
That's going to be a great one. And I mean, like Chelsea Williams said, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. So McDonald, Jackson Milton, round 3. And the Blue Jays are amped up. The Blue Devils are amped up. Winner moves on in this one, and you're in for a treat tonight, I think, Ant.
I also think, Anthony, you were talking about games as far as tonight, but another one Thursday, tomorrow, that I'm really looking to see what's going to happen there is United coming off their big win and going to Crestview. And that's a 5:00 start time there, but they were really impressive in their last victory over Carneon on Tuesday with a shutout.
Your alma mater, Lowville, is also in action tonight on the road at Chalker for softball. One of which the Rockets the best of luck in the world as they travel on the road for a sectional final.
Yeah, definitely. I always kind of still have my eye on that Rocket program, even though, the days, they just, 2008, and now it's was the 2008 grad, and now it's 2022, and I'm like, wow, man, like I'm closer to being an old man than I am in my high school days. But that's the beauty of working here, right? YSN is never lose touch with the high school programs and all these great student athletes and what they have to offer.
The boss be there for us too, Mark. Just looking at that, you got DJ on the call for that one tonight. Should be a good one.
Yep. Austin Fitz at Boardman. If I misspoke, I apologize. But
no, I believe I don't know if you did or not, but I know you said DJ was covering it, so I know we have it on the network either way, guys.
It is at Boardman. DJ's going to be there, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
Fitz keep the momentum.
Conference championship essentially is on the line in this one now. So I mean, big game.
So we'll be keeping an eye on that. We want to take the time to thank all of our guests for coming on today. Chelsea Williams from Jackson Milton, Emily Knight from Newton Falls, and Caden Burt, from Salem, all taking time to join us. Like I said, it's finals week for some of these teams, some of these players. I know Emily had had a final at 1 o'clock, and she was able to come on at 12:30 before her final. So they're crunching their time to get into the Running Point, which we appreciate because, like me and Ty said, and I'm sure Scotty would agree with this, show's not much without interviews. It'd just be me and Ty just blabbing for 2 hours. So we thank all the athletes and the coaches that are able to come on our show, whether it be live or do pre-recorded interviews, and they graciously give us our time so we can bring in the content to you guys, and want to take the extra time today, especially to just appreciate the time that's given to us.
I also want to appreciate some of these athletes a little bit more because I just got some stats in from that Struthers game you mentioned on that big win for him. Nicolina had 13 strikeouts and no walks on the mound in that game and batting over 600. And her freshman catcher, Melina Williams, went 5 for 5 in the tournament game, batting 500 on the season. So a lot of young players stepping up big time for Struthers right now. And I mean, that's the key of the thing. And I mean, when you play a full season and it all kind of culminates in tournament time, you see these young players, freshmen, sophomores, they start catching fire during the tournament time, and underdogs don't seem like underdogs anymore.
Maddie Bayes was the one with the walk-off, as she had the walk-off sack fly and extras to give Struthers the 6-5 win over Jefferson. And once again, like we said, it's a big win for the Wildcats.
Love that Wildcats community. They're always strong and supportive of their athletics too, and it's going to continue.
They will move on to travel to Poland on Thursday, and that'll be another sectional final, as that Thursday features Division II and Division III sectional finals. Day full of teams punching their ticket to that district tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we're going to get another step closer here, and you can find all those games too in the list of games, of course, on ysnlive.com/live. Of course, $9.99 for the playoff games, but get you access to all the playoff games on the network for that night. But we also have free games that are sponsored to you, brought by our sponsors, regular season. I believe you said one softball, and we have some baseball ones tonight as well. So still some free games on the network.
If Jefferson's going to get a regular season game in despite losing last night, they're going to play Lakeside tonight. And that one will be the regular season softball game. And then all the baseball games are free so far because they're regular season still. So baseball is free, softball, 3 tournament games, 1 payment of $9.99 gets you access to all 3.
Absolutely. And stay tuned to the show, and we'll keep you updated on any new guests that are going to be coming on to the show too. And we're in for an exciting one.
You're going to Bomber Country tomorrow.
Yeah, we're excited. We're slated to be in Bomber Country tomorrow with some Wyndham baseball interviews. So we're looking forward to that and getting some confirmation on that. But we'll get that closer to tomorrow's show too. But look forward to tomorrow's slate of interviews. And you never know who can show up on a Running Point either.
You never know. We almost had I think we almost had a dog cameo today. So I always hope when there's outside, they're looking. I'm like, bring the dog on camera. I want dog cameos in my life. So Anthony Hartwig, Scotty Mincher, and Ty Bartel, we're signing off. Me and Ty, we're taking a 22-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow from 12 to 2 with another great episode of Running Point for you guys. And then Power Hour coming up next. Not next, but at 3 to 4. Casual Sports Podcast coming up next from 2 to 3. And like I said, bunch of games on the network tonight. Head over to ysnlive.com/live. Check us out and have a wonderful evening, everybody.